Dorothy financially carried her parents home for years. Brother and manipulative sister-in-law move in. Dorothy is kicked out, uncovers real estate fraud, warns family ignored. Investigation hits. Family loses everything. They beg Dorothy for help. She refuses and rebuilds her own life. Wind presses against the kitchen window like it's trying to warn me. The dining table is set for 4, candles flickering even though no one here believes in romance anymore. I place a basket of freshly baked rolls at the center. Habit, not hope. My mother glances at me, not quite meeting my eyes. Smells wonderful, Dorothy. Her voice floats, thin as tracing paper, already trembling. Something's off tonight. I can feel it. The air holds secrets. My instincts twitch the same way they do at work right before a damn inspection goes wrong. Dad sits at the head of the table, clearing his throat too often, fingers tapping the wood. Mom wrings a napkin. The roast grows colder by the minute. When the front door bursts open, the cold rushes in first, then Justin. He drags 2 suitcases across the hardwood floor like they're trophies. Behind him, Miriam steps in, heels clicking with cruel confidence. Gold jewelry, blow-dried hair, lips curved in a glossy smirk. She surveys the house like an investor deciding what she'll flip next. No hello. No warm family greeting. Just ownership. We're moving in, Justin announces. Loud. Triumphant. Like he expects applause. My fork stops midair. Mom drops her gaze. Dad doesn't even flinch. His jaw tightens like this speech was rehearsed. I force a small laugh. The guest room? Sure, it's Dad interrupts. Flat. Emotionless. Dorothy, you can take the guest room, or move out. The candle wax drips, hissing quietly as if even the flames are shocked. My body goes still. Move out. My voice cracks, soft but sharp. This is my home. I pay the Justin leans back, smirking. Come on, Dorothy. You don't need all this space. Miriam's eyes glide over the living room. Calculating. Possessive. I breathe slowly. I've paid the mortgage. The repairs. The fridge, the water heater, the roof. I stayed to help. Dad gives the smallest wave, dismissing years like crumbs on a table. It's decided. There's silence. The kind that breaks ribs. Mom stares at the tablecloth as though her eyes stitch themselves there. No defense. No softness. Just that familiar, cowardly quiet. I feel something shift inside me. A crack, then clarity. I stand. My chair scrapes the floor like a scream. My voice is steady now. Steel wrapped in calm. If I walk out tonight, I don't walk back. Nobody looks up. Not even Mom. That's when I know. I take my keys, my pride, and leave the house I held together with overtime pay and hope. The night air hits my face, cold but freeing. The porch light flickers behind me, uncertain, like it doesn't know who to shine for anymore. I do not look back. Sometimes leaving isn't a door closing. Sometimes it's oxygen finally reaching your lungs. Tonight, I breathe. The apartment smells like fresh paint and borrowed courage. Boxes line the walls, a mismatched collection of pieces I earned and pieces I rescued. The sofa. My TV. The coffee maker that kept me alive through 60-hour weeks. They sit awkwardly in my new space, like survivors of a quiet war. Gloria pops open a sparkling water and hands it to me. To starting over. I raise the can. It clinks. To finally breathing. She grins, but her eyes search my face. You okay? I'm adjusting. The truth balances on my tongue. Raw, wobbly, honest. She nods like she knows the shape of that ache. Come to yoga with me. Trust me. It's cheaper than therapy and way more stretchy. I laugh. It feels like a small victory. Days turn into a rhythm. Coffee, steel-toed boots, site visits, spreadsheets. Nights with Gloria cooking simple dinners, trading stories that taste like release. But quiet has a way of amplifying thoughts. At midnight, I lie awake staring at the cracked ceiling. I picture years spent patching that family home like it was a body that could be saved. I remember Mom whispering, "Justin has big dreams," as if my real-world sacrifices were somehow smaller. Love and obligation twist tight in my chest like tangled cables. Then Miriam's face flashes in my mind. Shiny, smug, too polished for Omaha. I think about her SUV, those designer bags, the watch that gleamed like a brag. Numbers whisper behind my eyelids. Salaries. Commission averages. Expenses that don't add up. The math isn't mattering, I murmur to the ceiling. By the end of the week, suspicion turns into intent. I dial Michael, the real estate contact. Dorothy Shaw? Haven't heard your voice in years. I need to ask about someone. Silence, then. Her firm is on a few watch lists. They're being looked at for fake appraisals, skimming funds. Cold slips down my spine like winter water. I hang up and sit on my floor, breathing through the shock. My new life smells like lavender soap and cheap carpet, but my old life is still burning behind me. Dad wouldn't listen. Mom would look away. Justin would laugh. They chose glitter over truth. I begin digging quietly, gathering threads. Emails. Public reports. Rumors whispered by legal aides and surveyors. Nothing explosive yet, but the ground trembles. Something dark lurks beneath Miriam's gloss. I stretch a yoga band with shaking hands, trying to release tension. Gloria walks in with takeout. You look like you just solved a conspiracy. I meet her eyes. I think I did. She pauses. You going to tell your family? I let the question sit between us. Heavy. Sticky. Familiar. They never wanted my warnings before, I whisper. Her hand rests on mine. Warm. Solid. Human. Build your peace first. Truth can wait. I nod. The room feels lighter. My chest looser. Still, a storm brews quietly. And storms always return home. I don't know when it'll hit. I only know it will. The day the truth sharpens, the sky hangs low and gray, like even the weather knows something's coming. I'm grabbing coffee downtown when I run into Hazel, one of Mom's oldest friends, all silver hair and sharp intuition. She hugs me like she remembers who loved me once. How's the family? She asks. I freeze, then exhale. Complicated. Her smile falters. Justin's wife. Miriam, right? Her tone drops. I know her. Years ago. She worked at a firm in Lincoln. Trouble followed her. What kind of trouble? Forgery. Inflated valuations. Clients wiped out. Hazel's eyes tighten. Be careful around her. The sound in my head goes hollow, like someone sucked the oxygen out. Hazel excuses herself. I sit in my car afterward, knuckles white on the steering wheel. Truth isn't knocking now. It's pounding. I drive to my parents' house like instinct is steering me. Justin's outside unloading bags of groceries, head bobbing with confidence that now looks borrowed. We need to talk, I say, stepping out of my car. He rolls his eyes. What now, Dorothy? More jealousy. I hold up my phone, the email glowing. Your wife's under investigation. She's been tied to fraud before. You're in danger. He snatches the phone. Scans. Scoffs. She's successful. You're bitter. That's all this is. His denial is not just stubborn. It's drowning. Inside, Mom stirs soup, pretending peace still lives here. Don't start trouble, she whispers without turning. Trouble is already here, I reply. You're just pretending you can't smell the smoke. Her shoulders shake, but she doesn't look up. Silence is her armor. And her surrender. I drive home shaking, frustration tight in my ribcage. My phone buzzes. Michael again. Dorothy. Her name just popped in public filings. There's a second mortgage on your parents' house. Signed by her and your dad. I choke on air. A second. What? A loan. Large. And there's a transfer from your parents' savings to an account linked to her firm. My chest burns like betrayal and grief are mixing into gasoline. She used them, I whisper. And they chose her. I don't cry. I don't scream. I just sit at my kitchen table staring at nothing while my tea goes cold. Later, as city lights bleed into my window, I realize something brutal. I saw it coming. They refused to see it. And now the ground they stood above so proudly is cracking. There's a quiet kind of heartbreak in being right too early, and a quiet kind of power in not needing their validation anymore. Still, a question gnaws at me like hunger. When the truth finally knocks down their door, will they remember who tried to warn them? Wind rattles the window again. Storm's getting closer. The knock comes 2 weeks later. Not gentle. Authoritative. Final. 2 investigators stand on my parents' porch under a bruised sky. Their badges gleam like judgment. My mother opens the door. Her breath hitches. "Can I help you?" "We need to speak with Miriam Cole," one says. "She's implicated in multiple fraudulent property transactions. This residence may be collateral in one." Dad steps forward, voice cracking. There must be a mistake. Behind him, Justin stumbles into view, phone trembling in his hand. "Where is she?" His voice rises, desperate. Miriam isn't beside him. His shield is gone. One investigator reads off names, dates, loan numbers, court filings. Mom sways like her knees are about to fold. Justin's face strains to chalk. I watch from the sidewalk. Still. Quiet. Steady. I am not here to rescue. Only to witness. Miriam's car turns the corner. She freezes at the sight of the badges. Her hand slips off the steering wheel. I walk toward her, slow and deliberate. "Funny seeing you here," I say. My voice is ice wrapped in silk. Her eyes flick around like she's searching for an exit. "Dorothy, this isn't." I hold my phone. "It's already recording. Tell the truth." She swallows. Then exhales, sharp and ugly. "Fine. Your father signed. The house was collateral. And Justin's name." She shrugs. "He didn't read a thing. People like him never do." The admission spills out. Raw. Damning. "You stole from them. They offered trust. I took opportunity." She smiles, brittle. "That's life." "No," I say softly. "That's greed." Tires screech as she speeds off. Investigators chase in another car, lights flashing. Silence falls like ash. Inside, chaos screams. Dad sinks into a chair. Justin throws his phone at the wall, shattering it. Mom grips the counter like she might fall apart. Justin spins toward me, wild-eyed. "You knew." "You should've." I tried, I whisper. "You called me jealous." Dad lifts his head. His voice breaks. "Dorothy, we need help." "The bank." Mom finally looks at me. Truly looks. Tears carve roads down her cheeks. "We didn't see. We wanted." Her voice collapses. Their pain sits heavy in the room. But guilt does not mean obligation. I spent years being their anchor. Tonight, I am simply human. "I warned you because I loved you," I say. "You ignored me because you didn't." Dad reaches for me. "Please." His hand shakes in the air between us, grasping at a daughter he only remembers now that his world is crumbling. I step back. Distance tastes like oxygen and heartbreak. "I can't save you," I whisper. "Not anymore." And I walk out. Not in anger. In peace. Because sometimes the strongest love is choosing yourself when no one else ever did. The next morning, my phone rings. Dad's name flickers across the screen. For a second, I almost answer. Then I remember the dinner table. The dismissal. The silence that betrayed me long before Miriam did. I let it ring. Voicemail follows, his voice cracked like old wood. "Dorothy, the bank is taking the house. Please. Come home. We need you." "I'm sorry." I sit on the edge of my bed. My breath trembles. The child in me aches. The woman in me remembers. There was a time I would have run. Panicked. Begged fate to give me another chance to save them. Sacrificed again. But saving people who never saw you destroys you. I delete the voicemail. Hours later, curiosity pulls me to the old neighborhood. Just once. Just to see. I park down the street. Watch movers carry out furniture I once paid for. My mother's rose bushes trampled by hurried boots. My father's voice muffled inside the hollow space that used to be home. Justin sits on the curb, elbows on knees, face buried in his hands. Shoes scuffed. Shirt wrinkled. A boy pretending too long to be a man. He hears my footsteps. Looks up. "You won," he says. It's not accusation. It's surrender. I shake my head gently. There was never a game. He laughs bitterly. Family should fix things. Stick together. Family shouldn't break the one person holding them up, I reply. He looks at the ground. I didn't think she'd do this. You never think, I say softly. You just assume someone else will catch you. He doesn't argue. Because truth doesn't need volume. It just needs time. Mom appears at the doorway, clutching a photo frame. Her eyes find me, filled with oceans and regret. Dorothy, she whispers like my name is a prayer she forgot how to say. Dad stands behind her, smaller than I've ever seen him. Come with us, he says. We'll start again. We, I echo. Or me carrying you again? Silence answers for them. I breathe in, deep, clean. I love you, I say, but loving you doesn't mean losing me. Dad reaches again, slower this time. Please, I take a step back, then another. You taught me to be strong, I say quietly. You just never thought I'd use that strength to walk away. Mom's shoulders collapse. Justin doesn't lift his head again. I turn. The wind moves through the trees like applause for the quietest courage, leaving what hurts even when it cries out for you. Behind me, a house dies. Ahead, a life begins. Morning light spills across my new apartment like it chooses me now. The bookshelf holds engineering manuals and soft novels. My yoga mat is rolled in the corner. A plant I haven't killed yet stretches toward the sun like it believes in me. Gloria pours coffee and laughs about some guy at work with too much confidence and not enough talent. My laughter comes easier these days. Softer. Freer. On my desk rests a framed photo, me at the groundbreaking ceremony for a new sustainability project. Hard hat, muddy boots, a grin wide enough to crack mountains. I earned this life. Brick by brick. Breath by breath. Occasionally, guilt flickers like a weak light bulb. But healing isn't the absence of memory. It's choosing peace anyway. Mom sent a letter once. I haven't opened it. Maybe one day. Growth doesn't always look like forgiveness on demand. Sometimes growth is simply no longer hurting. Justin works at a hardware store now. I hear he's quiet, different. Life will shape him. Loss is a teacher with sharp edges. Dad drives delivery routes. Retirement scattered like dust the moment he trusted the wrong dream. Their choices built their reality. Mine built mine. Some nights, I sit by the window and let silence wrap around me like a warm coat instead of a punishment. I light candles not for dinner politics, but for peace. I water my plant. I stretch. I breathe. Once, Gloria asked, "Do you miss them?" I thought long and honest. I missed the version of them I hoped existed. She nodded, understanding without needing details. Healing isn't dramatic. It's small moments stacking, making your own breakfast, opening your windows to morning light, learning your own worth without an audience. One evening, my phone buzzes. Unknown number. I let it ring out. Not everything needs answering. I step onto my balcony with a warm tea and look at the city stretching toward nightfall. Cars hum below, air thick with possibility. In the distance, streetlights flicker alive like stars choosing the ground instead of the sky. I draw a breath, slow and steady. Not heavy, not burdened, just living. Some families teach love. Some teach survival. Mine taught me boundaries so fiercely that they broke themselves against them. And I learned something powerful. Walking away is not cruelty. Staying small is. I raise my cup to the horizon. To peace earned. To lessons learned. To a life finally mine. Fade out. End.